Hello. So this is our collaborative show. I'm Susanne Crane.
And I'm Kathy Weed.
And we met a few years ago, not too many years ago. And my first thought when I met her, I saw her work, and it was these beautiful, very colorful, exuberant tulips. And I thought, oh my gosh, this woman paints with fabric. I have to have a show with her. And here we are.
Yep. And Susanne has just really opened me up into many new ideas. Her work is bold, expressive, and I just love the colors she uses.
So here we are at the first themed pair of a painting and a quilt. And the theme for this one is rain. And well, we both hit it in a different way from our different perspectives, but they look really interesting together on the wall. And I have to say, I'm very partial to the women with the wild fabrics and the umbrellas. I just absolutely love that. And then the stitching that looks like rain coming down. Mine is something that is a memory from Jeffers' petroglyphs. And I was there taking a walk, and all of a sudden a storm came up on the prairie, and I really felt like I was surrounded with a lot of energy, and it almost seemed like the prairie spirits, the people, the original people who lived there, had gathered around and were just very much present. So that's the first two.
These are geometry, the theme for these. And I love Suzanne's. I love trees, I love nature, all the colors, vivid. And then hidden in the tree are these geometric shapes, which I love because it just is so subtle, but then to me it's like dreaming of, you know, the tree as a child, and children see things so much differently than adults do. And they can see things we really don't see. And mine, it's called Geometric Blooms because I love flowers, and everything I do, no matter what the theme is, it is nature. And I love bright, bright, vivid colors and try to incorporate that into the leaves, the blossoms, but then at the same time, there's triangles, circles, semicircles, rectangles, most any shape that is geometry.
Our next theme here is birds. And as you can see, Kathy's got these incredible dancing birds that are full of color, and they seem to be out on the town doing the tango, and with a big, perhaps it's a yellow moon, and it just, to me, they are really lively, they are having a great time, and they're also sort of like birds about town, because there's a few geometric shapes in the back that could be thought of as like a cityscape. I love this because they seem to be, pretty much on a date doing some kind of a synchronized dance. This one is called Bird on a Wire, and it's a peregrine falcon, and I did this because there was a time when COVID shut everything down, and things just were very raw and very simplified in my life. And there's a song by Leonard Cohen called Bird on a Wire, and I just thought I would play with that for this painting.
The next one is music, and Susanne made Om. It's called Om, And the colors are just so vibrant. I just love it. And the symbols, the design, you can just sort of feel that through your body of Om, like when you take a music class or listen to the tone of music. I think that's really, really neat expression. The other one that I made, quilted, is called Sketchy Owl. So I love birds also, as you saw in the previous one. So this one, owls are always hidden in trees. And so I wanted to do a cross-cut of the rings of a tree, and the little owl is hidden inside. And behind him, there's music notes, and then I also quilted a few music notes here. And owls sing beautifully.
This theme is the moon, and I absolutely love the silhouetted trees in Kathy's and how the branches seem to kind of dance and move towards the moon, like they're reaching out towards the moon. And the moon has stitches that go completely, they completely cross the stitches of the sky too. And so there's all these, just like the branches are going across the tree trunks, you've got that extra texture there as well. And I think this is a really successful piece for many reasons, but I also just absolutely love the color blue. And she's got these fadey blues that could be a lake, they could be the shoreline on the other side, and then the sky all lit up from a full moon. Mine is called Lasso the Moon, and it's just a little tongue-in-cheek where someone has, there's this old movie called A Wonderful Life, and in there somewhere, someone says, I want to lasso the moon and bring it in for you. And it's two hands pulling on a rope that's lassoed the moon. That's really all I've got there. I just kind of thought it would be cute. And turns out those two pieces of artwork just look really good together. I really like the way that came out.
So this next one is Magritte, a famous artist. And when I walked into the room, the gallery today, I saw Susanne's and it just caught my eye, it's all eyes, and she just does such a beautiful job of capturing that. But it's called Stream of Consciousness. So it's like we're thinking all the time, but what are we thinking? And there's always these eyes looking around, trying to capture your surroundings, your dreams. It just took my breath away when I saw this. And then mine is called Inside Out. So there is a famous painting that he did of a building and pictures of men raining down. So when I did this, I'm like, okay, to me, why is the man, like raining cats and dogs, but it's raining men? But he's the rain, so the rain has to be in the building. So in these windows, I picked a fabric that looks like rain. So what is inside the building? Everybody has plants, flowers, but it's like Shazam, there was a storm and the building exploded and all these leaves and flowers come flying out. So it was really fun to do, but just at the same time, it's really bizarre, but I love it.
So our next theme is sunflowers, and I'm super happy that I get to talk about this because I will say this, so many people love Kathy's sunflower piece here. Many, many people have said it's their favorite one in the show. And I'd have to say it's definitely one of my top favorites too. These sunflowers are done so masterfully, and there's also music in the background, which I really love. There's a lot of texture in this one, and it's very generous with its 3 sunflowers and all of the leaves. Yeah, this one compositionally, it knocks it right out of the ballpark. I'm in love with it. And then mine is called Prairie School Sunflower, and it has kind of a play on the arts and craft movement, that we have some nods to that in the Midwest here. And it also, I had considered doing this one for geometric, but then the sunflower theme came along and I thought, well, it is a sunflower, so I better put it in that one. And I enjoy how this came out because it's one of my more strange abstract pieces, and I really like the way the shapes and the lines add to the composition.
The next theme is trees, and mine is called River Bend. So I do a lot of hiking, and we visited many, many national parks, state parks. I just love nature, and water is so peaceful. So I have the hills and a valley with a stream coming through, and then the lighting on the trees from the forest is really thick, but you always get these rays of light through the woods. And so that's why I chose a bright orange to really accent the tree. Okay, this one is Susanne's, called Heartwood, and it's just gorgeous, just gorgeous. It's like the sky is just lit up and the trees are almost singing, swaying, and it's that old saying, if a tree falls, can you hear it? Well, I think this little elf here sitting by the tree with the wings, it knows more than anybody else about a forest and what happens. The colors are just vivid. I love like the fireweed in here, the pathway, and I just feel like if you're sitting there, nature just really empowers you. You just love nature if you take the time to just sit there and listen.
This next theme is flowers, and this is a specialty of Kathy's. I have seen her do the most incredible garden quilts, and this is one of them. This is a field of poppies, which, you know, might harken back to Monet, but she definitely has her own way of doing it. It's just a wild, wild plethora of leaves, and then all these beautiful papery blooms that you know are just very delicate, and I just love the way she uses color. There's so much contrast between the reds and the greens, and I like that there's a whole bunch of different fabrics in the green leaves as well. There's not a single area of this where it's not activated. So I really love her gardens. And then this one here is called the Lotus Crane. And I kind of did something a little bit that was kind of a play on my name, because Susanne means lily, and then my last name is Crane. And there's a lot going on in this, and a lot of it has to do with a visit to China. But I thought that this lotus would represent the flower theme. I don't do that many flowers actually, but I really like the way this came out, and it's kind of spiritual.
These two are, the theme is fish, and this one here first, Tropically Hooked, is the title of this one. It reminds me of when we've been in Florida and snorkeling, and around the coral reefs, and the fish are just thick and beautiful and bright, and they just sway with the waters, the waves. It's just gorgeous. It's amazing what we have in our oceans. And so when she gave me the theme of fish, I go, oh, this one's going to be easy for me to do. Then hers is called Point of Interest. We recently just camped in southeast Minnesota down by Lanesboro, and they have the Root River there and a dam, and we camped really close to the dam, and the noise from it was unbelievable, and I think she's captured that. And then, of course, there's little fish hidden in the water. You can't see, but once in a while they'll jump. And then I love the little eyes in the greenery here. Like, okay, what are these, frogs? Or you have to use your imagination. What might this be on the shore? But it just reminded me of when we went camping this summer. Just beautiful. I love her colors.
Here is the winter theme, and it's kind of fun to talk about both of them at the same time because this one is very high contrast between the two of us, and I love that. Put them on the red wall because you've got her deep, dark, silhouetted trees with a lot of, it just appears that everything is very windswept. And then you've got my birches that are almost white. And so I just really like the juxtaposition of these two next to each other. They're just really nice companion pieces, and they're both saying something about winter, and it's very authentic, but just completely different ways of showing it, and I love it. So when I put these on this wall, this made me so happy.
Our next and last theme is called The Dancer. So this piece is called Square Dance. This piece I actually made about 15 years ago. My parents were square dancers, and I had a competition to make a 30 by 30 quilt with a theme, and I wanted a lady dancing like my mom used to dance, square dancing, doing do-si-do and element left, and having just the most fun time. But at the same time, I wanted to do a little geometric and do the square in a square. So I felt like this was just super fitting for our theme. Then Susanne's is right here. It is, you told me it is 24 karat gold. It's just so pretty to use something so different in a painting, to be able to get that on your painting and have it show, you know, brightly, and the frame with it just complements it. So this lady is dancing, happy, excited. It's just gorgeous, just gorgeous. So I hope you've enjoyed this little quick take of our themes and what we've paired together. And this show at the Freeborn County Arts Initiative is running now until the end of October, the 28th. And it's open Thursday evenings, 5 to 8, and then Fridays and Saturdays from 1 to 4. I hope you've enjoyed this and will come and see it.
I'd like to thank the Freeborn County Arts Initiative for the honor of showing during the 10th year anniversary celebration. And I'd also like to thank the State Arts Board for funding the Freeborn County Arts Initiative. Oops.